thanks for joining us again. We're joined right now by Sergeant Osse JeanPierre, and he's here to talk about his story and how the Guard helped him with his citizenship. Hey, thanks for joining us, JP.
Sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me, sir.
Yeah, so just a little bit about yourself.
My name is Sergeant JeanPierre. I am from Haiti originally. Came to the United States in around 1996 with my parents because our country was falling into kind of a bad situation. So my parents thought it would be better for me to come to the U.S., well, for us to come to the U.S. and start a new life there. I'm one of three. I'm the oldest. Came to the U.S., lived in New York City for the better part of my life, my American life, and decided to join the Army National Guard in around 2010. It's been a wonderful, wonderful success story. Army has led me to be the best person that I am, both spiritually, mentally. When I joined the Army, I actually did not know anything about the Army. I just watched the commercials and thought it'd be something fun to do.
Like many of us, it's either Be All You Can Be or
All
Army of
Be.
One.
Correct. I was part of the Army of One campaign. So joined the Army in New York. Went to basic training, went to AIT. I am a 12 whiskey, which is a carpentry and masonry specialist. I currently drill out of Snohomish, Washington with the 176 engineers. I was deployed a couple of times, first to Iraq and second to Jordan. Been to Germany with the Army, done countless humanitarian missions and state missions. Yeah, it's been fun.
What led you to Washington State?
The weather.
The weather.
No,
Is it the rain in the winter or the little bit of sunshine in the summer?
To be honest with you, it's been the best summers I've experienced anywhere in the country.
Oh,
and I've been to a number of states and lived in a number of states.
Don't give away the secrets. Don't give away that secret.
Yeah, I really, really, really enjoy the weather here.
Yeah.
But the reason I moved to Washington State was to search for me. Messing this up. Let me see. It was a self-search mission, and turned out to be the best decision of my life.
Nice. Yeah, I've my folks moved out here when I was a kid, and everybody kind of moved back to the East Coast or the Midwest, and I stayed here. Same thing for me. It was just to kind of do it on my own and see how it all turns out, and I think so far it's going pretty well. So,
oh yeah,
kind of sounds like it was the same for you.
Same for me.
So, you just recently got your citizenship. About
I did.
two weeks ago.
In December.
Oh, okay. So the end of last year.
The end of last year. Yes.
Kind of walk us through that process and what how you got to the point of, hey, now you're finally getting your citizenship. It sounds like you've lived in the States quite a while. So.
Took a long time because a lot of the information isn't readily available. And obviously I think in my particular situation, it took a lot longer because of the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
COVID-19. So it's it's a hard system to navigate, especially not knowing what the process is like and to do it alone.
What so being in the service, and if this is not just a National Guard, it sounds like it's active duty. Also has the same programs, all the services, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines.
Yes, sir.
What benefits did being in the service help you with, or what kind of guidance did they give you to help with that process?
Well, let me start with this. Being that I am a service member, all of the all of the resources that, excuse me, all of the fees and sorry, I'm a little
All good.
nervous.
All good.
All of the fees were waived because I'm an active service member. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but it's a very expensive process.
No. What's
To
it normally cost?
um, I'm not sure what it would be for somebody that isn't in the army, but I do know a couple of the forms that I filled out were like $500-600
Oh, wow.
of filing fee, and that's not including you know, biometrics and stuff like that.
So.
And all of that is comes out of your pocket.
Mhm.
You have to pay for that.
No, and did you get any kind of resources? Like, was somebody kind of guiding
For
you
sure.
along the path? Or?
Yes, sir. Military One Source was a great resource for me, and I ultimately ended up getting a lawyer because it was such a intricate process. But Military One Source, they had all of the counselors and numbers to guide you along the process. Also, USCIS has a military-only department, which helped out a lot because before I found out about that department, I was dealing with the general department, and it was there's not much help. And obviously, there's a lot that they can't individualize their conversation with you because, for the most part, it was through the phone. So a lot of the answers that I was seeking, I couldn't get because it was a general answer, and it didn't specifically It didn't specifically deal with what I needed to accomplish.
Yeah. So it sounds like there was a lot of help.
A lot of
Financial help, definitely.
Financial help, yes.
So if you're somebody, what advice would you give somebody that's now going through or looking to go through that kind of process that may just be new to the Guard, doesn't know all the steps? It sounds like it was a 4-year process for you.
Yes.
Was there ever a time where maybe you were frustrated with it, kind of thing?
Yes. Let me start with this part. For anyone who would like to join the Army, I highly recommend, and you don't have a citizenship, I highly recommend that you seek that through basic training. Because they have, specifically for me, I was asked about my citizenship status when I went to basic training way back when at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And I, being young, didn't foresee it being a real issue because I didn't know, and nor did I understand what being a citizen was. So I opted out of that. But somebody new coming in, biggest advice I can give is definitely try to get it done as soon as possible because they have an expedited process when you are coming in to the Guard, or excuse me, to the Army.
Yeah.
From there, somebody that is already in, that is new to the Guard, I would highly recommend that you call that USCIS military department number. There's a lot of help there. There's a lot of people that can guide you to the right path. That way you don't have to spend 4 years like I did.
Yeah.
Trying to get the
Did you ever
answers.
get frustrated at times with it?
100%. It seemed to me the way that the system is structured, it's not very inviting to somebody that just isn't a lawyer or don't have years of knowledge in dealing with that sort of structure.
Yeah. And you kind of alluded that COVID-19 didn't help the situation. It probably
sure.
slowed it down quite a bit.
Definitely.
And we've had the privilege of working with you for the last few years, and you never let it affect anything. And I think that's
Never.
a tremendous that shows who you are as a person. You never let that stuff affect you and what you do, and I applaud you for that. So
Thank you, sir.
So if you're you've kind of already talked about if you're a new guardsman, you're kind of looking at that program, any programs. It sounds like do it right away. Just get it done right away.
Yes, sir.
And you've kind of already talked about the basic training, like what resources they have there. It sounded like when we talked previously, they have them right there and they can get it done while you're basic training.
Yeah, they have all of the resources there in the personnel with all the knowledge of this stuff to help you with get your citizenship. At least for my situation, it took 1,200 days for them to process from start to finish. Those 1,200 days does not include any weekends or federal holidays. So it's a lengthy process, and it helps to start it as soon as possible. That's one of the reasons why I'm saying that, hey, if you're coming into the Army and you're thinking about joining and you're thinking about getting your citizenship through the Army, it's best to do it at an early stage in your career. That way you don't have to run into the issues that I ran into.
Yeah. And if you're watching on YouTube, you should be able to see a photo of JP probably on the screen holding your official citizenship.
That was one of the happiest days of my life.
Was it just like a pamphlet thing or a piece of paper?
No,
with
negative.
Certificate?
So that was the certificate of citizenship that I received. It has my picture and all of the information, and they declared me as citizen, swore in, and
so for somebody who's never been to a ceremony, what's that day? I mean, what kind of happens that day?
So once the process is kind of concluding, they'll give you a date to go in and swear in. So the morning of, I was super nervous, but I was lucky enough to have some great support from Master Sergeant Bassett, who is retiring, unfortunately. Yes. But he gave me a little pep talk, told me you should be happy, and I was. Not that I wasn't happy, but I was super nervous. So took me down there, and
where did you go to do the ceremony?
I went to Tukwila.
Okay.
I believe that's the only USCIS station here. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. But I went to Tukwila. That's where the email said to go. And got there, gave them my name, my social, and right away they took me to a waiting area where they, again, made sure my name and my social was correct. Because if it wasn't printed out correctly, that's another $500.
Yeah.
For them to reprint that. But so they made sure everything was good. Went in the room. There were passport agents there, getting people that are being sworn in to get their passports right away. Again, something I would highly recommend that you do at the ceremony if it is available. We got some instructions, and the ceremony started. Cried a little bit. And we all got to swear in, and afterwards, it was a nice opportunity to just sit back, take in, and as officially an American citizen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, congrats again, my friend.
Thank you very much, sir.